to my Art Journal Sunday. I'm still working in this book here, and I'm really excited about getting it filled up, and I plan on doing that. I apologize for the long hiatus, but part of it, my mojo just wasn't there ever since I had my surgery. I don't know what happened. But I am now back, and I'm going to upload an art journal prompt every Sunday. Most of them I will do from the art cabin, but Richard's working on a big, huge canvas out there right now. So there's no space for me. So I'm in my room. That's just fine. So today's theme is about fear of flying. And it's not about the kind of fear of flying in an airplane. It's about fear of flying when, new things happen to us and we're afraid to take that leap to keep going. We want to stay in our little comfy space and not move forward. So before I run my mouth, I'm just going to tell you that I put gesso all over this. I just kind of roughly put some gesso all over the back 2 pages here. And I'm going to cover the back with this Dina Wakley heavy-bodied acrylic paint. This one's tangerine, and the other color I want to use is lapis. It's a beautiful purpley blue color. I just took a workshop from her, and it was so much fun. I enjoyed it so much. So here's my surface here. So I'm just going to take some of this beautiful lapis blue. I just love it. You don't need very much of these paints. I'm going to use this whatever these things are called. I'm not even sure what they're called. But they work just like a palette knife. I'm just going to run it all over the pages. And so what I'm talking about and what I'm referring to as fear of flying for myself is like, for me, I have spent so much of my time not well and being sick and things like that. And of late, I've been getting better and better and better and better. And I can remember years ago after I had spinal surgery, and I was so, could hardly move, and I was in body brain. And I remember going to the physiotherapist the first time, and Richard dropped me off at the hospital and went to park. And it was the first time I'd ever been alone walking by myself since the surgery, and I was a little bit scared. And I remember the physiotherapist saying to me, she goes, you know what? The doctors can only get you so far. The rest is up to you. And I remember that so, as it's just so vivid. It's as if it was yesterday that she said that to me. So now with my brain surgery and all that's been going on, I've just come off of all my steroid injections. For 3 years I was taking them. So things are changing in my body, and I'm getting my energy back. I'm getting my zip back. But it's almost like there's a little bit of fear in that, because you get settled in this comfy place of what you recognize as your new normal. That's what it is. And it takes a lot of courage to just, keep on trying. And sometimes there'll be some people that are, and I'm not saying I'm this great person or anything, but there are some people that will be diagnosed with a chronic illness, and that becomes their label. That becomes who they are, not something that's happening to them, but they take that on as their identity. But I don't want to do that. But I understand why that happens, because it's very safe to stay in that spot. I'm just going to dry this right now with my heat gun. So this is just a little too brush for what I want for background. So I'm going to take some gesso and just whiten out the middle part just a little bit, like right down the middle here. So anyway, what I was saying about, for me, like it takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery to just go out there and spread your wings and fly. Very often when people get stuck in a dead-end job, and they look at other people and like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that, but they don't. And a part of it's not because they can't do it, it's because you're afraid to do it. So I've been feeling a lot of that fear of flying, a fear of, it's because everything is sort of new to me and I don't know what my limitations are. It's been so long that of not feeling good that that's been my focus. It's just been day to day, just getting through, surviving. And now that I'm finding, I mean, I'm still not 100%, but I can certainly feel myself getting better and better every day. And I know with coming off, like I said, those steroids, I'm not going to be as sick as I was before because so many of that was side effects from that. So this paper here, when I took the Dina Wakley course, she showed us how to make background papers and suggested that it's a good idea when you're doing art journaling, make up a whole bunch of background papers and then you can use them for clothes, for backgrounds, for anything you want to. So that was really fun, and she showed us all the different techniques on how to do it. And this paper, it's very similar to wax paper, but it's actually called sandwich wrap or something. But it's like a cross between wax paper and parchment paper. So I'm going to carry on with my page. So I just used gel medium to put that down. So like I was saying, like a lot of us are very afraid to take that first step into a new adventure. We are, it's like the Marianne Williamson poem, and I don't have the exact lines, but what we're most afraid of is our greatness. Like we can settle back into our mediocrity and into being less than the person that we're meant to be. But when we have an opportunity to fly, sometimes it's very, very scary. So it's easier to just stay where you want to be. So, and that's a little bit of how I've been feeling. Not that I think I'm going to be great, but just that it's now time to take a little left turn, you know? And then when I was thinking about this, I just realized that life is a constant new normal. So now I've just got to get used to another new normal for me. And having done this before with other things in my life, it's almost like when your kids leave, the empty nest thing, it's like, what am I going to do with myself now? Well, not to compare illness with your kids, but any life change, it's like, okay, you kind of got to readjust your, life's like a ride. You got to readjust that belt and hang on and just enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride. So that's why I really wanted to art journal this right now, my fear and apprehension of flying. I'm going to go ahead and take flight, but I'm just a little timid, you know? So this is one of the Dina Wakley stamps. She had all these really cool people. So I stamped this one, although I got a little bit of ink on her face from the, residual on the stamp, but that's okay. So I'm going to color her with my Pitt pens to make her look like me and somehow make a dress out of this text and see if I can't incorporate me on the page. Oh, and then I'm going to cut some wings out of the Sizzix Angel wings, because I want some wings. If I'm going to take flight, I need some wings. So I use my Pitt pens here. I use this one for flesh colored, and it is, whoopsie, it is called flesh, light flesh, but I find it kind of a nice warm browny color. So I used it on her. It's kind of blotchy because I got some gel medium on her face, but that's okay. It's art journaling. We know what that's all about. So I made her some pants out of scrap paper. Same with her dress and her arms like cut out. So it's not just the stamp and the head, and her head's not just floating around. So there she is. She's looking up that away. She's got some wings there. So she is ready to go, if you know what I mean. Then I picked up these stamps at the Goodwill today. It says Happy Place. There's a camera, a frame, and then this one with the sun peeking out of the clouds. So I'm going to stamp that probably right there because she's looking and she's got a little faith now. The sun's coming out. All is good. And just to be brave and take flight. Do not be afraid of flying. And this is just, message is so personal to me because this is where I'm at right now. I don't know, I'm like, I don't know if I can do that because what if I get really tired? And I don't know, but you got to stretch yourself a little bit and a little bit and a little bit more each day. And you'll know if you've done too much, I will know. So yeah. So here's my finished page. I want to talk about this background first because me having my background ready enabled it for me to not have to do a lot of stuff. Although I like doing it, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of there and you slap it on and there you have it. So on here I've got some stencils in acrylic paint there. This was done with swirls and I bought Martha Stewart paint and got some swirl. Actually, hold on. So these black lines were done with swirls and I'm going to finish it off to tie it all together. I've got Martha Stewart. This is metallic. This is like a bronze paint. And she has these cool tops that you can take off the regular paint top and put this top on. Then it has a cap. And it makes your acrylic paints become, you can write with them. So let me get it started. So that's how some of those were done. And that's what they showed us in the workshop, and not with this particular, it wasn't Martha Stewart, it was hers. And I couldn't find hers, so I got these bottles from Martha Stewart. So you can just add some swirls. So I will just add on to the one that's already there. You see, and it ties the whole thing together because some of this background was done a while ago, so now I can just tie it all together. So also you can see some kind of waffly sort of through here. She showed us how to do, when they used to do rubbings on in Europe, you used to go do cave or grave rubbings or on a building, and you put up a piece of paper and you take some charcoal and rub and the image would come off. Well, she said you can do that with stencils. So you put the stencil under your paper and then paint over the surface and your image pops through. It's a really different way of doing it. But I'll show you some of those techniques on another day. I'll just do a techniques. So I've got my little lady there, and there was an image on that printed paper. It was such a dull image, so I thought, let me just trace over it so it sort of looked like that. So I colored it with the Pitt pens and some paint, and then I stamped. Sometimes you have to be strong for yourself, so not to be afraid. And she got on her cool little hip pants. I dated it, and this one says, you don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go, and see what happens, which is so true. Then I stamped all these black birds on top of that background. Can you see them? And there's one over there and all my swirlies. And then I painted my cloud and my sun because she's sort of peeking up. Well, looks like the clouds are coming out, so I should be okay. And then I just wrote, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Marianne Williamson. A lot of people think Mandela created that quote, but she actually did, and he quoted her in his speech. So we just have to not be afraid of flying and just let ourselves go and trust that everything's going to be okay. We don't have to stay trapped. Like, I don't have to stay trapped in this sort of fragile world of being not well. It's safe and it's very safe and you're very protected, but I can venture out a little more. I can do a little bit more exercising. I can do things. I'm not going to hurt myself. I have to trust. I have to strap those wings on and fly. So for any of you that are in the same boat, whether it be, an illness or just a new normal, thinking about changing a job, a lot of people, if they're in a really destructive marriage and they just can't get out of it, fly. If you only have one journey or one time on this life, and you need to live your life to the fullest, and sometimes it is scary, but we all have to just trust in ourselves, and we have to be strong for ourselves. For a really super simple border, because this page is so busy, I just took my thick black pen and did some little, lines all the way, broken lines around the page. And then to shade some of this flower, you can see how it's still shaded there. And there I use this gray Pitt pen, which I thought was kind of fun. It's just fun to play. Oh, I put some little dots on her head, on her crown, or giving her a little bit of a crown. And there's all my finished swirlies. So thanks a lot for watching my art journal page, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get back in it, but I will be back next Sunday, and I'm just going to continue on making a few more swirlies in this bronzy colored. Isn't that the coolest thing? I've got it on a black pen, black acrylic, white acrylic, gold, and this bronze. The package from Martha Stewart came with 4 tips. So it's really fun because you could actually write on your page and, just have some fun with it. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.